Om Jnanatirandasya Jnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanu Vishtam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupalugacharya Varyam Gurupa Manjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Karunyam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Twise Namaha. Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Izmera Hasara Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshavascha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradatam Shri Guru Pada Padma, Nitrila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Sata Srimad Shri Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shri Guru Deva, and also to my most worshipable Shikshan Sannyasa Guru Nitrila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Ashtotara Sata Srimad Shri Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupananda Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So we are continuing with the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami on the 10th and 11th verses of the first chapter. All of the gopis' activities are only for Krishna's pleasure. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also being explained in the verse 10:31-19. The gopi says, "Hey Priya, our dearly beloved, when we hold your lotus feet to our breasts, we do it so very gently because we are afraid that our hard breasts may hurt your soft feet." Like this, there are so many other examples in Srimad Bhagavatam. Also, Uddhava says, "Astamaho charanarenu jusamaham sham." I only pray that I may take birth as a creeper, as a bush, or a herb in Vrindavan forest, so that I can always be bathed in the dust of the Brajagopis' lotus feet. So this is one example of how even very dharmic persons like Uddhav, they follow the footsteps of gopis. So this is very difficult to abandon all the conventional morality and give up the dear members of your family. But the gopis, they have abandoned everything just to serve the lotus feet of Sri Govinda. The same lotus feet that the Shrutis, means the Vedas themselves, are seeking for till today. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47-61. In the same chapter, the verse 58, it says that the gopis are situated in Rudha Mahabhav for Bhagavan Sri Govinda. In this way, they are the best of all living entities in this earth, because they have achieved the real purpose of life. The greatest sages who are afraid of the material existence, they also desire pure love. So if someone does not have taste for hearing the nectarian narrations of Krishna and the gopis' pastimes, even if that person takes birth as Brahma, this is also useless. So in this way, although the love of gopis have been called as kama, as lust, still this is the most relishable type of prema for Krishna and the topmost goal of life. So another very important point about the paramour relationship, the parakya relationship, is that it forces someone to give up the most difficult things to give up, which is the marriage and the family binds. So by the detachment of the gopis, the influence of the material elements were also totally destroyed. So in this way, if you, for example, imagine that the gopis would be married to Krishna, that would not be the topmost limit, because the marriage itself is a limit. But because the gopis, they had to give up their husbands to meet with Krishna, then it shows topmost type of detachment. So this is the most important answer for that, why Krishna makes this parakya pastime. Because Krishna says in Gita, Sarva dharmam paritaja, you have to give up all dharmas and come to me. If the gopis would be married to Krishna, still there is a dharma, this is called dharma patni, the dharma of being a wife. So that dharma could not be given up. The only way to give up the dharma patni is to marry another person and then meeting with Krishna. So therefore, this parakya lila is the topmost lila of surrendering to Krishna. So when Krishna says to Arjun that Sarva dharmam paritaja mamekam sharanam braja, what he's saying, if you want really my love, you have to become like gopis. You have to give up all dharmas and come to me. Because no other devotee of Krishna is able to give up all dharmas. Only the gopis are doing that. So this is, I am saying, this is not written, okay, by Jiva Goswami. This I am giving extra understanding. So in this way, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he indicates so much about Gopi Bhav. So much. There are, even in the Chatushloki Gita, so many indications of Gopi Bhav. Then Sri Jiva Goswami, he explains a little more about this mundane conception that, it is attributed to the gopis, and comparing to the bad intention that Putana had when she came to Krishna. But still Krishna accepted that bad intention and made her like a spiritual associate of him. This example is being given because if the gopis would have any bad desire or any material desire towards Krishna, Krishna would clean that and would make them pure and perfect. Actually, anyone who comes to Krishna with good or bad intention, but even if you come with bad intention to approach him for some reason, he's going to purify you. You can never cheat him. He's going to cheat you. This way, Krishna, he told Uddhav, those fortunate gopis were unable to join me on the night of the Rasa dance, even though they were in Braj, but they attained me by thinking about my beautiful pastimes. This Rasa Lila that Krishna is mentioning to Uddhav, it is described also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 29th chapter. Then he's also bringing the understanding about that when those gopis were stopped by their husbands, they could meet with Krishna on the same night or in the other night. So it says that actually they joined in the same night. In the same night they could join. And their husbands, they could not understand. And also the Nityasiddha gopis, they did not understand about the position of these gopis. They did not know that Krishna was playing Rasa Lila with Sadhana Siddha gopis. Till the moment Krishna sent a message with Uddhav to Braj. Actually, Krishna came to the house of those gopis who were locked and met with them in private in their rooms. So this is revealed in the verse beginning with the words Antar Griha Gataha. Antar means inside, Griha means house, Gataha means to get. So they got Krishna inside of their houses. In this way, Krishna says, by the power of my bhakti yoga, the devotees, he purifies not only himself, but the whole world. So in this way, after being purified completely, those gopis who had husbands or children, they were able also to purify the whole world. From the happiness of Krishna's embrace, the gopis' bliss and auspiciousness increased so much. And by that, the whole world was also nourished by this auspiciousness. So now, next is the words Gunamoy. Gunamoy means full of absorption in a mood of separation. So in the third canto, the description about the creation, Brahma, he also gave up his body when he was completely absorbed in that mood of creation. So in this way, on that very night, the gopis, they gave up their bodies to meet with Krishna. By the power of Krishna's mercy, the gopis who were in their houses, they gave up their subtle material bodies in their meditation. And then they gave up their material bodies and they achieved their transcendental bodies. So it was only in that particular night they could not join Rasa Leela, but they could join Krishna. But next nights they could join Rasa Leela. So now this is the end of Jiva Goswami's purport. We are going to discuss the purport of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So here Shukadeva Goswami, he presents two ways of understanding this verse. For the materialistic people, he is giving just external meaning. And for the intimate devotees, he is revealing very deep and the real object of the gopis' attainment. So first, for the materialists, he says that Krishna gave liberation to the gopis. So in other words, means the gopis' inauspiciousness were totally cleansed away. And then after receiving the embrace of Krishna, they became blissful in meditation. And after all their karma was destroyed, they attained Krishna in a paramur mood, parakyaras. But for the intimate devotees, Shukadeva Goswami says that the gopis, they were suffering from the blazing fire of separation from Krishna. And after, in their very deep meditation, they got unlimited happiness by meeting with Krishna. Their separation caused very intense heat that all types of inauspiciousness were totally burned out. And this also includes like the heat generated by millions of universes from the fire under the water of the oceans. Like the Mahakalakutta poison, which came from the churning of the milk ocean. In this way, in Gopi's trance, they met with Krishna in their transcendental bodies full of prema. And was from Krishna's embrace that they could achieve all their auspiciousness. The happiness they felt from Krishna's embrace, it made the material happiness present in millions and millions of universes look like insignificant, as well as the spiritual bliss derived from the Brahmananda. Some people may think that the gopis' agony in separation, this is by the reactions of their previous sins, and karmas. But the Vaishnavas, they do not accept this view. Because the misery felt in separation from Krishna, it is not a reaction of sin. And the bliss enjoying in meeting with him is not a fruit of piety. Only those sadhakas who are in the state of anartha-nivritti, they will be able to destroy their karmas by worshipping Krishna. So the gopis, they met with Krishna as Paramatma in their meditation, means inside of their heart. So they had this relationship, this Paramu relationship with Paramatma. In this way, what kind of sin could be if you are meeting with Paramatma in your heart? The queens of Dwarka, like Rukmini, they have become the wives of Krishna, and they have enjoyed very special type of happiness because of that. But the gopis, they had a much more intimate relation with Krishna as a paramur, which brings the topmost happiness. In this way, even Uddhav, he loudly sings the glories of the gopis' love. To worship the lotus feet of Govinda, the Braja Gopis gave up their husbands, family members, the Vedic morality, which are very difficult to renounce. The Gopis' love for Krishna are so high that even the Vedas personified, they are trying to achieve that love for Krishna, which is very difficult to achieve. Even Bhishmadev, he says in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.39, that Krishna who bestowed Sarupya Mukti, he is now looking beautiful as Arjuna's chariot driver. Means it shows that the Krishna's pastimes as Partha Sarathi, means the chariot driver, superior even to his pastimes as an emperor. It's also good to note something I'm now saying, that even Bhishma Deva, he was having somehow some type of feelings for Krishna in Madhura Rasa also. If you read the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur for the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Gurudev, he mentions that very nicely. In this way, he's saying here that this parakyaras in the material world, this is considered to be very, condemnable. But in Krishna's Leela, they became more exalted than this Shantarasa, which sees Krishna as master. We see that in this Braja Leela, simple things like Gunjamala, peacock feathers, they're more precious than the most beautiful ornaments made out of jewels and pearls from Dwarka. So from the general point of view, whatever is considered to be more important, in Krishna Leela it is not going to be more important. And whatever from the mundane point of view it is not proper, in Krishna Leela it becomes the best. So in this way he again confirms that those gopis were stopped by their husbands. They could not join the Rasa Leela on that night, but only in the subsequent nights. Someone may ask, how is it appropriate for Krishna to perform amorous pastimes like Rasa dance with the gopis? The reason is that those gopis, they actually already gave up their material subtle body. So we can understand from other words that they died, okay? That's mostly what is being told here. They died, but they died to live in their spiritual bodies and then join with Krishna. This way, Yogamaya made those bodies to disappear without noticing. And some, even other people, say that those bodies of the gopis, they were contaminated by the three modes of nature. But anyway, even if we considered those bodies to be not material, still they are perishable. So before the gopis hear the flute sound, their bodies were divided in two parts. Gunamoy, Ichinmoy, means material and transcendental. So the bodies that the gopis gave up were the ones that had been enjoyed by their husbands. So therefore, we cannot say that they only had one body. They had two bodies. In this regard, we should consider the following point, which is important. In the beginning of our devotional practice, following the instructions of Guru, the devotee uses his ears and other senses for performing kirtan, smaranam, serving the deities, etc. But still those senses are being ruled by gunas, trigunas. But as he will progress and he will achieve pure bhakti, then his senses will begin to be controlled by nirguna. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:25-26, Krishna says that nirguno mad apashraya. The surrendered devotees, they become transcendental. So even though they have received this spiritual body, still they live here in this material world. And they still interact with the material elements. This way, the devotees, they have these two aspects, material and spiritual, combined, like our Guru Varga. We know from one side they are totally transcendental, but from another side, they eat, they sleep, they become sick, and so many interactions. They feel cold if the weather is cold, they feel hot if the weather is hot, like that. So we will stop here and then continue next time. Panchakalpatarvyasya kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.